Canada just went from buyer to builder overnight, and Washington is watching its defense empire crumble. A Montreal factory is about to pump out fighter jets for the world. Not American jets, Swedish jets. 36 aircraft per year flowing to Ukraine, Colombia, the Philippines, and anyone tired of asking Washington for permission. This isn't diversification, this is revolution. And the Pentagon has never been more furious. Saab just made the announcement that changed everything. The Swedish aerospace manufacturer proposed that a Gripen production line in Canada would serve export customers besides making planes for the Canadian Air Force. The first aircraft could be produced in Sweden to get started quicker, but the rest would be made in Canada, as the country has highly competent industries for software, hardware, and airframe. Saab is scaling up its global manufacturing capacity toward a rate of 36 aircraft per year, a figure shared across existing and potential production lines. This isn't just about Canadian fighters anymore. Canada is becoming the global production hub for every nation sick of American export control. Montreal doesn't just build for Ottawa, it builds for the world. And that terrifies Washington. The customer pipeline is staggering. Ukraine signed a letter of intent for up to 150 Gripen E fighters, the largest single export order for the type. Colombia finalized its deal. Brazil ordered 36, with the first rolling out in early 2026. Thailand ordered 4, with 2 more batches expected. The Philippines wants around 40 fighters. Peru's campaign for 24 is in the final stage. Portugal, Austria, and Ireland are all prospects. Saab has formed a portfolio of potential orders exceeding 300 aircraft. Every single sale cracks Washington's defense monopoly, and Canada is the factory making it happen. The industrial transformation is revolutionary. Saab informed the Canadian Armed Forces it could deliver on creating 12,600 jobs locally if Ottawa buys the 72 Gripen jets and 6 Global Eye aircraft. Company officials claimed they could generate approximately 10,000 Canadian jobs if the country opted for the Swedish option, and pledged to build, maintain, and upgrade the aircraft with several Canadian industry partners. Production centers would be established in Ontario and Quebec. Bombardier is positioned as a key partner through the existing Global Eye relationship. The company has shared details around speed of technology transfer and how quickly it could stand up a local Gripen production facility. Saab's CEO Mikael Johansson emphasized that such localization would not only accelerate deliveries to Ukraine, but also establish Saab's inaugural North American industrial foothold, creating high-skilled jobs and injecting billions into Canada's robust aerospace sector. The collaboration between Saab and Bombardier builds on a proven foundation of transatlantic synergy, particularly through their joint development of the Global Eye airborne early warning system. This isn't just assembly work. This is complete technology transfer, full intellectual property, sovereign control over production, maintenance, and upgrades. Everything the F-35 program denies. By hosting Gripen assembly, Canada could position itself as a linchpin in Western defense supply chains, countering U.S. dominance and fostering domestic upgrades. Decades of industrial decline reversed in one contract. And Washington can do nothing but watch. This is Washington's nightmare scenario. Over 30 Canadian companies hold F-35 subcontracts, every single one threatened. The United States expects F-35 subcontract work pulled from Canada if Ottawa pivots to Gripen production for the world. 110 Canadian companies have contributed to the F-35 supply chain, with $3.2 million in Canadian components in each jet, and the program will generate more than $15.5 billion in industrial value for Canada through 2058. All of that evaporates if Montreal becomes the Gripen factory for NATO. And it gets worse for Washington. The current Gripen uses a General Electric F414 engine, which gives the United States leverage through export control. But Sweden is offering the British Rolls-Royce EJ230 engine instead, completely ITAR-free, no American components, no State Department approval required. The moment Canada starts building Gripens with British engines, American veto power over Allied fighter sales dies forever. Every Gripen sale is a lost F-35 sale. Canada arming Ukraine independent of U.S. approval echoes World War II, when Canada armed Britain while America sat neutral. Prime Minister Mark Carney argued at the World Economic Forum that allies will diversify to hedge against uncertainty. He emphasized that Ottawa is rapidly diversifying abroad and touted Canada's plan to double its defense spending by the end of this decade and to build up domestic industries. Carney stated that Canada should no longer send 3/4 of defense capital spending to America. Trump tariffs are accelerating the European pivot, and NATO is realigning without American gatekeeping. Denmark's head of Parliament's Defense Committee described second thoughts over their F-35 order and has a message for Canada: choose another fighter jet. Even America's closest allies are reconsidering. Washington's defense monopoly is fracturing, and Montreal is the fault line. The geopolitical earthquake is just beginning. Canada is reducing 75% of defense spending going to the United States. A new defense and trade cooperation framework was signed with the European Union in June 2025, underscoring that stance. A majority of surveyed Canadians, 72%, back incorporating the Gripen into Canada's Air Force, either by maintaining a mixed fleet of F-35s in the Gripen or by switching to the Swedish-made aircraft for future acquisitions. Only 13% of survey respondents said that Canada should stick with F-35s as its main fighter plane. The political will is there. The industrial capacity is there. The global demand is there. Sweden's autonomous export approach versus USITAR control is winning. Saab signed contracts for 21 new Gripen E/F fighters in 2025. The manufacturer currently operates 2 production lines for the multirole combat jet in Sweden and Brazil, and now Canada becomes the third. Digital manufacturing coordination across Sweden, Brazil, and Canada creates a global production network completely independent of American oversight. Russia and China are watching the alliance fracture. Every division between allies serves their interests. But from Ottawa's perspective, this isn't weakness. This is sovereignty. The ability to arm Ukraine without Washington's permission. The ability to export fighters without State Department approval. The ability to control their own defense industrial base for the first time in 70 years. And if that fractures NATO's unquestioned American leadership, so be it. From buyer to builder in one decision. Canada didn't just diversify suppliers. They became the supplier. Montreal's factories won't just service Canadian fighters. They'll arm half of NATO. They'll equip Ukraine's Air Force. They'll supply every middle power tired of American veto authority. And Washington can only watch as decades of defense dominance unravel one factory at a time. The Pentagon threatened Canada over this decision. They warned NORAD would be altered. They said American fighters would patrol Canadian airspace. It backfired, because every threat gave Canada more political cover to break free. And now the world's getting Swedish fighters built in Canada with British engines. No American approval required. Is Canada right to become a global arms exporter or playing with fire? Your take below. Subscribe because this export boom is just beginning and Washington's response will be explosive.